As a guitarist, we're conditioned to think that the next piece of gear is the missing link. We spend thousands on pedals, on boutique amps, on signal chains, trying to chase a specific tone, hoping that if we just buy the right gear, the music will finally arrive. But here's the reality that nobody likes to admit. Gear is just a tool, and in the world of songwriting, the most expensive tool is often the one that gets in the way the most. I've spent years building out boards and routing cables only to find out by the time I was ready to record, the creative spark was long gone. That's why I moved to the Spark 40. But I want to be clear, this isn't a plug-and-play cure-all for your playing or your recording. It's not going to make you better, and it's not going to replace your technique. What it does do is remove the friction. It's about the workflow, not magic. Today I'm going to break down why I've integrated this into my own studio and how you can stop chasing gear and start focusing on what actually matters, the song. For a long time, my identity as a guitarist was tied to my setup. The more pedals I had, the bigger I felt my sound was. And sure, there's a place for a complex rig, but when you're in the middle of writing, when the melody is there and the lyrics are hitting, the last thing you want to do is troubleshoot a signal chain. I've realized that I was spending 80% of my time preparing to play and only 20% actually creating. I was becoming an engineer of my own clutter. I had to ask myself, am I a collector of gear or am I a songwriter? Choosing to simplify wasn't about lowering my standards, it was about raising my output. I didn't want the gear to be the star of the show anymore. I wanted the song to be the star. Now don't get me wrong, I still have my pedal boards, I still have my tube amps, and I still love the feeling of moving real air. But there's a difference between a studio rig meant for a tracking session and the day-to-day work of a songwriter. When I'm in the zone, I don't want to be a technician. I don't want to hunt for a loose patch cable or deal with a power supply that's hum heavy. I want to plug in and hear the sound in my head immediately. That's what the Spark 40 provides. A clean, quiet, and consistent interface that lets me bypass the spaghetti of cables. It's about lowering the barrier to entry. If I can start playing in 5 seconds, I'll play for 3 hours. If it takes me 20 minutes to get a signal that sounds halfway decent, I'm probably going to close the laptop and walk away. I hear a lot of people talk about how the Spark is just for practice, but that's the missing point. Whether I'm trying to nail a specific vintage tone I've been studying in my Legends series or building a texture for my own tracks, it's all about sound design. I can spend time dialing in a tone that feels like a page out of rock history, or I can design something entirely on my own from the ground up. It's not about the amp knowing the sound. It's about knowing what you want to hear and having a tool that is fast enough to keep up with your brain. And here's the reality check. If you don't know how to articulate your playing, no amount of pro presets will save you. This amp doesn't fix bad technique, and it doesn't do the heavy lifting for you. All it does is give you high quality palette to paint with. But it is a tool that respects your time. In an industry where everything is trying to distract you, the gear that lets you get straight to the music is the gear that stays on my desk. Ultimately, we're all looking for the same thing, a way to get the sound in our head out into the world with as little friction as possible. The Spark 40 isn't a replacement for passion, and it definitely isn't a replacement for the hours you put into your craft. If you're a songwriter, stop focusing on the next purchase and start focusing on your workflow. Build a setup that lets you work at the speed of your ideas. That's the only legendary secret that actually matters. I'm going to be doing more deep dives into the tools I actually use to build my sound. Let me know in the comments what gear you swear by and what's just collecting dust on your shelf.